Welcome to a distinctly blustery Brands Hatch for round 6 of the Caterham Academy, where the cars headed out for qualifying on a rather slippery surface after some early morning rain.
It actually started quite well, even setting the early pace for a very short time. And as the track started to dry, almost everybody got faster, but my provisional pole position slipped down to 3rd, and from there on in I never really managed to link anything up and finished a modest P6 ready for the race.
And so to our very own Paul Woodman, on pole position after lap 1, 3rd on the grid after 5 laps, 6th on the grid at the end of qualifying. Paul, it was all there, it faded.
I don't think I faded, I didn't change at all. Everyone just got a little bit better and I just stayed where I was. But it was nice when it was really wet, but there's not much grip out there.
We're all waiting for the Lovecars Podium, and surely, Theo's not usually up the front pack. You could just get to the left of him up to paddock. One of those demon starts. Can you produce another one?
I think if it's dry, it looks like it's going to be dry this afternoon now. I'm hoping we get another good start. Round the outside, don't tell the boys, round the outside, slot it into 2nd behind Fred and see where we go.
Nice trouble-free race. Oh, I can't wait, podium. Can I come on the podium with you if you get there?
Let's not jinx it, but we've got to be due a podium, surely. We've got to be due a Lovecars Podium at some time. Sometime.
We'll be there. Me and him. Champione, champione. Pole position at Brands Hatch was a bit of a surprise because 8th in the championship out the blue. Boom, Ian Harris on pole.
Yep, very happy with that. This is my local track, so I've done plenty of dry track days here, but never in the wet before. And yeah, I was very surprised. As I came in, everyone was doing the finger to me, and I thought they were being rude maybe, but no, apparently I was on pole position. So on the last lap as well, so really happy with that.
It literally was. You jumped from nowhere to the pole. Were you using these wet lines where you go around the outside of the corner?
I was ignoring everyone because everyone was trying to do your typical wet lines, and I was just trying to find grip on the track. And slowly by slowly, I worked out each corner where I had more grip and less grip. And then on the last 2, I linked it together. Thought, I've only got a few minutes to go. You've got nothing to lose if you come off. You might as well go for it. It paid off. Now I've got to do well. And this afternoon when I was going to have a relaxing race, I thought.
Crazy Horse, a motorbike dealership that also sells Caterhams. And it's where our championship leader, Fred Chiddicks, got his. Fred, championship lead, a bit of pressure, but with the points dropping, you need wins, don't you? Because Jeff's got 3 wins to your 1, so very important today's race.
Yeah, it's a really important race. It's a shame that we're dropping 2 rounds out of 9. I could really do with only dropping 1, but quite liking the mixed conditions. Definitely a better qualifying than Silverstone, starting higher up, so looking forward to the race.
And possibly, if you know the Brands Hatch grid, happy that you're not on pole.
It's worked in my favour, apparently. I don't know, but I've been told. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, the pole is the famous hole here at Brands Hatch, where the pole man's stuck on the inside in a bit of a dip. So every chance of leading into Brands and then getting your head down and disappearing, Fred.
That will be the plan.
McCat Motorsport. No idea what that's about, really. A complete office layout in the trailer. Must be a big businessman or something. Brought his office with him. But surprisingly, 3rd on the grid, from nowhere, still putting on his sponsor's jacket. Theo the artist. Theo, what's with the McCat?
What, the name?
Yes.
A blend of McLaren and Caterham.
You have a McLaren?
I do, yes. 5
What colour it's going to be? Do you think it's orange, perhaps?
It is bright orange.
Oh, brilliant.
Ventura orange, with orange sparkles. Very nice.
So quite a different car, an orange McLaren as an orange Caterham. How do you find comparing the two?
Do you know what? I prefer this. I prefer this. This is far more fun. You know, you can put this at full chat and not kill yourself.
I say this to so many people. When they go on track days, they get a radical or something that's glued to the track and they don't slide around. But these, you have so much fun, don't you, without risking killing yourself?
Fantastic fun. And, you know, with the McLaren, 15 grand to replace the rotors and the brakes, 50 quid. So, you know,
Anyway, let's get back to the racing, because you've been, we've seen you doing well-ish occasionally in the Academy race, but then boom, third on the grid. Where's that come from?
It's the luck of the weather gods. The rain fell, and I'm not afraid of the rain. I don't mean that to sound arrogant, but I quite like it. So I just put my foot down, found the grip on edges where clearly others didn't, and managed to eke out third place. But I didn't know I was third until I came in and somebody went like that. It's usually one finger salute when I come in, so it was nice to have a bonus of 2.
Mark, fourth on the grid today, second in the championship. You had loads of podiums, but you're still waiting for that win.
Yeah, always the bridesmaid, unfortunately. So hopefully today, home circuit. I've been here since I was walking, so fingers crossed for a podium or even a win. So
you've got a fan club here cheering you on?
Mum and Dad in there, my niece is here, all my friends are here, so yeah. They've got banners, hopefully, cheerleaders.
Now, whilst the Caterham Academy brings fierce racing on track, it's also brought together people who become friends. Almost a bromance here. 12th and 13th in the championship. Joe and Paul. See, you can't stop them talking. Joe, Paul, I understand, there's a bit of friendship developing here. You've never met before, but now you're just best buddies.
Well, yeah, let's hang on. We'll see how it ends up later.
Oh, now you're putting your racing hats on, are you? But you found you live just 20 miles apart. I mean, this could be a huge friendship.
10 miles, really close. Yeah. Never met before, and now it's like a family, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
48 and 84.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when Paul was born, and that's when I was born.
I hadn't seen it, even the numbers. It was destined to be, wasn't it? This is, But now, you're 12th and 13th of the championship. You're lining up today, 12th and 13th. I mean, the friendship has to disappear, does it, when the lights go out?
Maybe on the last race. It's all still a laugh at the moment.
He's a gimme. He's got to give you the position by the sounds of it. You're going to just take place?
Well, I think Paul's whole thing, Paul's got a lot of time on his hands, so he spends a lot of time on track, a lot of practicing. I'm a very busy man. I turn up, I do my thing, and so it's quite interesting, the dynamic. So yeah.
So you've done a lot of track days preparing?
No, I had never been on a circuit until April.
So Paul, when were you here this week?
Wednesday.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday.
As you can see, these two have become friends for life. Probably forever.
We all know motorsport can be dangerous, but for the thousands of marshals up and down the country and all over the world, mostly volunteering to make sure we can race, sadly, the unthinkable happened exactly 1 week ago to a beloved Brands Hatch marshal, Robert Foote. Robert sadly lost his life during a race event on the 31st of August 2021, which was honoured by the Orange Army and race fans from across the UK. It was an honour to have been part of this, and our deepest condolences go to Robert's friends, colleagues and family.
Lining up then for 20 minutes of frantic Caterham Academy. The big question is, can Paul make one of his legendary demon starts from the outside of row 3?
The answer was no. A positively average start, in fact a completely rubbish start, opening the door for all sorts of challenges going into the first corner. But somehow managed to make up a place going around the outside and slot into 5th behind Theo, who I have to say was the bane of my life at the beginning of this race, making his little orange Caterham the widest car in the world.
The demon start didn't quite happen. Paul dropped back to about 7th or 8th, but he's now fighting for 5th. No, he's lost 5th to 6th. He's going to be unhappy, but he's got the championship favourite behind him.
And with Caterham Racing, you try and gain a position, leave an inch, and the people behind you will take a mile. And Mark Kendall didn't need any invitation to move up into 5th place. Trying to defend and also attack is an art in itself, but I managed to hold off Jeff down the main straight and took enough speed out of paddock to get P5 back with a nice move up the inside of Market Druids, the hairpin. thinking to try and get a move ready on Theo to ditch the pack behind, but that wasn't as easy as it sounds, and I had to catch him first. But I was fast through paddock again and took the speed up the hill to Druids, where another tight undertake managed to get me into P4 and past the widest man on the track, Theo Theato.
He's up the inside of Druids. A great line round Paddock Hill Bend, got the momentum. He's through to fourth. He needs now to catch up with Mark Jones and who was it, Ian Harris battling over second. But he's gone very wide.
Yeah, thanks Tiff. I was worried about the contact at the inside on Graham Hill Corner, so I made sure there's plenty of room. Now I wanted to get a good exit around clearways so I could protect the inevitable onslaught at the end of the main straight, which would mean I could then start to make some headway. Easy as that. But then the most incredible, crazy, brave, call it what you want move from Theo going into paddock. Just when I think I've kept the position, he gets a massive tank slapper on, almost loses control. I back off for the inevitable crash, but he pulls off the most miraculous move I think so far of this championship. But I still had the momentum going up the hill, though this time he defended well and put me back into the dreaded chasing pack again.
Chinnix is escaping. There's a great battle for second, but they're pulling away from this frantic battle for fourth. And Paul's back behind Teo, which isn't what he wanted to do, because now he's back in the crazy pack.
Have you ever seen the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith and all those zombies, where he leaves the door open an inch and he's swamped with all these zombies coming in? That's what Caterham racing is in a nutshell. Lost a few places, managed to get a couple back, and with Jeff pushing hard to catch the lead pack, I thought to slot in behind him and things would start to look up a little bit. Flipping Theo and what seemed to be a Caterham twice as wide as anyone else's was really causing me problems.
Twice Paul got past Teo into fourth place, but now he's back to sixth, and it's Jeff Newman, the championship favourite, trying to get past Teo, but Paul's ready to pounce if either of them make a mistake. Newman's now inside Teo, Paul's queuing up, it's a huge battle for fourth while the three out front are well ahead.
And then, like Jeff at Knockhill, it was my turn to suffer from an innocent backmarker. Completely out of shape and a big slide at the foot of the hill meant the zombies, I mean my fellow competitors, rushed through and punished my error.
Another wild ride through paddock, almost in the gravel, and Paul's lost a 1, 2, no, 3 more places. desperate to make that ground into Graham Hill bed. Paul's had to get out of it, went sideways, and he's now back in 188th place.
It certainly felt like 188th place. I couldn't believe it. I bottled it going into Graham Hill corner as I was desperate to keep my nose clean, and I didn't want to touch big Chris Fraser on what would have been quite an aggressive move. So again, it was just another case of damage limitations and trying to get some places back.
He's 14th. 14th from 4th. Today was going to be the day. We were going to be on the podium, but oh, he's going for 13th up at Druids. This is good. Back to 13th. Paul loves recovering, I think. This is what he loves doing.
I'll be honest, I'd love a podium more than getting through this pack, but I knew I had more chance of getting a pint out of Joe Priday than getting my elusive podium now. Then, just as I thought I'd get the move on Paul Castle, his bromance buddy Joe seemed to get a mystical tap from behind and span off the track, scuppering my chance of getting past his new BFF. Paul then proceeded to do a Theo and planted himself in the middle of the track, making it super difficult to overtake. Plus, of course, with his sensational ninja-like driving skills. I've had 2 crashes this season, neither of which have been my fault, but all I could think was to avoid crashing at any price, which is probably not the best mentality to have as a racing driver. But time was running out and I had to try and get in front of Paul Castle, and to make matters worse, Phil Clark was all over the back of me. Finally, Paul ran wide, and next up to try and pass was Rob Domain, who surprisingly very politely let me through with very little challenge.
Paul battling back. He's hoping to get to the top 10. He gets up the inside at Paddock Hill, can't quite make it. Looking to at least get to 9th, but he could get to 6th or 7th if there's much time left. Meanwhile, Chinix is doing a masterclass out front.
Then, I'll be honest, possibly the scariest moment of my short racing career, fully committed down the inside of Surtees when I thought John Vincent was going to turn in on me. A real heart in my mouth moment, but thanks John for being so aware. And next up was Mark Williams. Well, at least that was the original plan. I went for the same move up the inside of Druids that had been so successful all race, but realised Mark was not going to yield and he turned in, which he had every right to do as it was his corner. 2 wheels on the grass, and the thing I wanted to avoid the most happened. I didn't care about my race, let's be fair, that ended several laps earlier. All I could think about was Mark and how gutted he must now be. I'll be honest with you, I was very close to driving in the pits out of sheer despair for spinning Mark around, but I knew that really was not the right thing to do. So for the remainder of the race I just sat 100 yards or so behind Mark, gutted that I made contact, but there was no way I was going to challenge his position. So huge congratulations to Fast Freddy with a brilliant recovery drive from Jeff in 2nd place and another podium for Mark Vin Jones. And so much for my podium, my worst result of the season, way down in 13th place, but I did manage to get 3rd fastest lap overall for the 2nd race running behind the 2 leaders. Seems I've got the pace, just not the brains.
Oh, it seems like you get to 4th like you did at Silverstone and then your world falls apart. You got through the 4th twice. How did you lose the places?
It was so competitive. I didn't like those tyres. Look, no excuses. No, absolutely no excuses. But I wish I put some different tyres on. It's just all over the place. I was sliding all over the place, and the boys are fast now. There's hardly anything between anybody. It's brilliant racing. Poor old Mark Williams. I went up Druids quite aggressively and tapped into Mark, span him around. I feel that's the thing I feel worse for. I don't care about my position because I feel so sorry for him. But he took it so humbly and said, "Look, that's racing. Stuff happens." But what a brilliant race. It looked exciting. But
it was fabulous. It's just you got through the fourth. We thought, right, if you could get away from Teo. Teo was sort of holding you back, and you got Teo, and then you lost it straight away with just trying too hard at the next corner.
No, he did the most unbelievable move I've ever seen going into paddock. I can't believe he carried it off, and he ended up going sideways into paddock, pulled the move off, and then because I kind of thought if I kept it from paddock, I would get with that breakaway pack, but it just didn't. It wasn't to be. It wasn't my day. I didn't drive very well. I didn't really enjoy it for the first time. I enjoyed the racing, but not my position. And I certainly didn't.
Come down the pub.
Come
down the pub.
Come over
the pub. I'll give the microphone back to the cameraman, and we'll go in now. We'll just go.